This is a review of the Samsonite double inflatable neck pillow with a travel pouch. I'm doing a little bit of an unusual, for me anyway, unboxing because my experience with inflatable items is that you can never quite get them back as flat as they were originally, so I thought that would be one of the items that we would check. As you can see, it comes with a pouch. This is fairly small. It is very light. This is something that really legitimately would fit into a pocket. So let's pull this out, unfold it, and see what it looks like. This is what it is supposed to look like once it's fully inflated. Alright, unfolded, you can see that it's considerably larger. This is the pouch that it came in. This is basically the full extent of this. Obviously it's a fairly straightforward to inflate it. You simply blow on that particular tube. So I'm going to be doing that here next. I'll tell you how long that takes me to do. This is not something I'm going to make you sit through while I videotape it. Alright, the pillow has been inflated, as you can see. It took about 2 to 3 minutes. It was a little harder than I expected because there was a little more resistance to inflating it than I expected. I had to blow pretty hard to get past that valve. The valve does not go back inside the pillow. I don't know if that's something that makes a difference to you. In normal operation, this is where it would be, and the valve would be over here down below. I'm sorry, other side, over here down below. If I pull this off, there is a little bit of a protective valve inside here, and the air will not immediately come rushing out. It will leak slowly. If you want the air to come out quick, as when, say, you're deflating it, you're going to have to squeeze this little bit. That releases the valve, and the air will come rushing out. There's a couple of tests that we're going to have to make on this. One is how comfortable is this for use, and the other is how well does it hold the air. So I'm going to leave this inflated all day and then come back and report on how well it's done. The material of the pillow is basically sort of a soft velvet. It does not feel particularly strong, but some of these things can be misleading. One of the things I noted was if you're any exposure to, say, beach toys, beach balls, rafts, and the like, you're aware when you're inflating them that there's a fairly strong plastic/vinyl odor. That odor is very definitely present in this pillow. If this is something that you are sensitive to, this probably is not the right pillow for you. Now, my experience with these also is this tends to dissipate with time, and that is another thing that I'll be checking and reporting back on. This is still a test of the Samsonite inflatable neck pillow. Basically, I was testing to see if it would hold air all day, and this is something I really didn't have the luxury of being able to test by myself because I can't stay still for that long when I've got so much else to do. So I compromised. I left it in here all day, and basically what I did was I stuck a very heavy dictionary on it. As you can see, this has still held its air just fine. That does not say that it would be durable over a period of years, but it does say that at least, for a trip or two, this is going to be absolutely fine. Given that these do not tend to have a lot of pressure put on them, this is not a cushion you're sitting on, it's simply a cushion you're resting against, I suspect that it will do just fine over the long haul. In use of this cushion, what I found is it is reasonably comfortable, does what it's supposed to do. The only problem I had with it is I've got a fairly large neck, and I felt a little bit pressure on either side of the neck, so that when I was sitting there, I knew that the pillow was there. It was not painful, it was not gripping me, but it was something that was definitely brought to my attention, something that I was aware of. I would prefer something like this to be pretty much completely unobtrusive if at all possible. There's enough other distractions on the plane. I don't need the distraction of a pillow that's just a little bit too tight. To put some perspective on this, my neck size is 17 inches. For most people, that is probably simply not going to be an issue, and you'll have no problem with the pillow. It was reasonably comfortable. I would say that my own experiences don't inflate it 100%. That makes it just a little bit stiff. Inflate it fully and then let just a little bit of the air out to give a little bit of the give in the cushion, and then everything else will be fine. Now we get to the fun of deflating it, and let's see how small we can get it so that it folds back up again into its carrying pouch. All right, the cushion has now been deflated. It's back in its pouch again, and as I expected, it isn't quite as thin as when I first put it in there. It was a little bit of a nuisance. The valve that prevents the air from just clipping out also made it a little bit more difficult to deflate it. And at the very end, I actually ended up using the old trick of literally sucking the air out of it. But it folded up pretty flat. Took about 4 to 5 minutes total from start to finish to get it all nicely folded up, and everything's back where it should be. And even though it's just a little bit thicker than when I started, it's not inordinately so, and it's still certainly pocket-sized. Now, whether this is the right pillow for you depends on a variety of factors. I would say that probably a memory foam pillow is going to be a little bit more comfortable, but that pillow will also be considerably more bulky. So walking through the airport holding onto that pillow, and I've seen people with them around their necks, around their arms, it just takes up more room. This one, obviously, it's easy. You can stick it in a purse, you can stick it in a book bag, you can stick it in a pocket, and it'll be easy to take with you. On the other hand, it's a little bit of a nuisance to inflate it and deflate it again. So there's trade-offs. There is also the fact that the odor from the plastic will be with you. I would recommend before you use this that you inflate it and leave it inflated for a while and let it air out. After it had been airing out all day today, the odor was noticeably less. There was still there, and as I said before, if you're unusually sensitive to that, this probably isn't the pillow for you. However, if this is something that just doesn't really bother you much, again, airing it out once or twice should be sufficient, and then you basically can use this. All in all, I'm pretty pleased. It's kind of a nice little pocket-sized addition. You can use it or not use it, depending on the circumstances, and it does work.